Welcome everyone to update version 0.2.6. Lots of cool stuff to take a look at, so let's jump right into it. First and foremost, you'll notice that the project title up here is going to gain an asterisk as soon as you have any changes whatsoever, changing enemies, moving sliders, adding, moving things, changing duration, any single thing. That'll be there until you save, and then the asterisk will go away. If you have unsaved changes, you'll notice that when you try and exit, you'll get this type of pop-up that'll tell you how long ago you last saved, so you have a chance to come back and save if you want to. That goes for loading and reloading, all that stuff. So very useful, so you don't accidentally lose changes. So if we go to gameplay, you'll notice we now have a forced power challenge that's available, and you can set that to any of the available power-ups, including the brand new zip power-up. If you have that enabled, that will force the player to have that power-up selected so that they have to use it during the gameplay. Of course, they don't have to use it, but it's presumed that you're going to design your level around requiring them to use it in order to pass the level. The results screen actually changes your points, so instead of getting no points for using your power and +1 for not using it, now if you have a forced power, it will give you +1 for not using it. +1 for using it and +2 for not using it, so it's just +1 to both of those things. And that'll be in the patch notes if that didn't make sense. If you want to test it, you can't test it here. You actually have to be in full screen mode, and then when you click, it will be working there. The level's paused, so the ring isn't working, but if we do that, it'll reset. So I'll actually go here, full screen, hit play, and then we'll hit slow, and then that, of course, slows down. Every time you pause and unpause, it'll get rid of it so you can quickly test it over and over. Level notes are now working in the level select, so we'll see that pretty soon, but this is where they go in your level project settings window. For visuals, you will see that the none background now uses background 2, so you can change that to be anything you want, and it actually works as a gradient from the bottom half. So pretty useful if you want to get some interesting looking levels that you couldn't do before. That looks kind of nice. Let's leave that right there. And the big thing we have here for this update are 3 things, and they're all extras. You'll notice they're all here at the end here. So we already had clears and we had reset arena angles, but now we have a new one called dome. We'll start with that. So a dome, you can see a preview's already there, is a circle or a dome that's in the arena that the player cannot go through. It has a duration kind of like a stream. You can drag these to be a little bit longer. So let's just see what this default looks like. There you go. There's a dome and you can't go through it. Simple enough. You can change the size of it. You can have it be as big as you want. You can type numbers larger than this as well, of course, but 100 is the size of the arena. And there's actually a second slider for the end size, so it can animate size. So it can go from this size to that size. So if we do that, it'll take that duration and force you to only have the available space for how big it is. So pretty cool. If you're wondering why it's called a hard dome or a soft dome, we'll just fire some bullets and we will make it a little bit smaller. If you want to make the size the same, by the way, we now have a new thing where if you hold control and drag, it'll move both sliders at the same time. Very useful. So here's what the dome looks like. We'll start it earlier. So the dome is there. There are bullets fire, and you can see that bullets cannot go through a hard dome. However, if you switch this to a soft dome, you can see the outline is now dots instead of solid, and bullets can go through a soft dome, so you can't go through, but the bullets can. Very useful for changing the shape of the arena, I guess, or the layout of where you're allowed to go. Duration has a slider, so you can kind of get there quickly. Placement is just depending on what makes sense for you. Right now, if you want to think about the distance and angle, here's the distance from the center, and then the angle of, let's see, angle of how it's working. It was disappearing because the thing was in the way. Okay, so here's distance from the center, and then here's the angle around the center. So it's kind of like radial coordinates, or polar coordinates if you want to think of it that way. A regular coordinate, XY position, is simply just X and Y on the screen. So again, you can type these to be whatever values you want to go outside. So you can do like 150 or something like that, whatever you wanted to do. So whatever makes sense for you, it's just for your convenience. In case you want to have a perfect grid of them going left and right, or if you want to have a nice spiral of them going around in a circle. It's very easy to do either one of those. And then also, if you see the sizes are different, it's the same thing as with the arena cones for the enemies. Green is the beginning size and red is the end size. Last thing here is, yes, you can have it obey gravity and twisting. So right now, it's not doing anything, and you can't animate the position explicitly. But if you were to turn on gravity and have gravity come down like this, you would, of course, be able to have the dome start, and then we'll start falling right there with gravity. Oh, did I not turn it on? There we go. There it goes. So that starts falling. And the same thing would happen if I had twist turned on. So your choice how you want to affect that. So you can have lots of fun permutations and settings going on with the dome. Next one is text. And this can be in lots of different forms. So text, we will type something out. And you'll see our green, same idea here. Green is the start size, and you can change it to be whatever you want. Start size, end size. And you can hold control and drag if you want them to be the same thing. Right now there's only 2 fonts available. That's going to grow, but right now it's a standard Google font and then the Century Gothic font that's available or seen elsewhere in the game. The purpose is important for you to list which one it is, because if it's lyrics or something that's just a part of gameplay, that's going to be there. If it's commentary, then please mark that as such, because players will be able to decide which ones or neither that they want to actually see when they play. And so commentary, you would think of more so of you, the level creator, saying what you were thinking, ideas, what didn't work, what did work, what you're proud of, or you're the musician and you're trying to say cool stuff you did in the song, or maybe you'll have musicians' notes on the left and then the level creator's notes on the right. I don't know. The point is, it's for the player who's playing to decide if they want to see commentary or not, or see lyrics or not. So make sure you have that marked. Let's see, let's just start playing this here. So you can see my player is on top of it, bullets will be on top of it. If you hit on top, it'll actually be on top of everything, including the bullets. Another thing to keep in mind is that it is actually on top of everything. So if I turn blur on, you'll notice that the text is very legible, even during a blur, but if I had it not on top, it's behind and it's blurred out. So that's why commentary is so important, because you always want to be able to read the commentary. You will notice that it still has the same, I'm just skipping around this whole thing, but gravity works as well, same thing, so you can have gravity affect it just like it affected the dome. You can turn on the twist and have that happen as well. Justification is important for not just a single row, but if you had multiple rows. So we'll, something I had to say, we'll do it like that. So if you do left, left is 0 right there. If you do right, 0 right there. And so that's not super important if you have one row, but you can actually do multiple rows by using /n. That is a backslash, by the way, just above the enter key. So if you go here and do /n, it'll actually do multi-line in one shot. And now you can see how important it is to have your justification to be right, center, or left. Let's see. Position, same idea here. That's just x and y coordinates. Simple enough there. Duration, that's pretty straightforward. Outline is if you want to have an outline, and that you can choose between white or black, depending on your color. We'll get to the color there. So here is black text with a white outline, so that's, you know, for whatever legibility reasons you want to have there. Let's do color right now. I'll turn off this. And you'll notice that the text doesn't update. If I have the text here, I have both running at the same time. So the preview is green and the actual text is there. So you have to rewind with right click and hit spacebar to have it disappear. So it's only here while paused. Kind of like the cones are only visible while paused. Color here has the same color picker that you notice from the color selection window for all the bullets and stuff. And you'll see these are actually all the colors from the edit colors window, just for quick reference if you want to make any of your text the same color as a bullet. And then this T right here is actually the list of all of the swatches available for text that's on screen. So if I had a bunch of other text and they were other colors, those colors would all appear. Just pick whatever. Okay, so you can see they're all starting to appear. So if you look here, you have all the different colors. And so if you want to have a color of a text be the same as another one, you can quickly find that. A very useful shortcut right now is if you want to select all the text that's this color, you can hold Control and click it, and you'll see it'll select it. So if I have a bunch over here, and you click Control click this green, it selects all of these ones. So you can quickly change all of their colors at the same time. So they're all going to be, oh, that one's in the way, sorry. Oh, there's no text, that's why. There's no text. I was wondering why nothing was appearing. There you go. There's no text. Okay, it's green there, or it's red. Let's see. Right, so that's all the color stuff there, and that will help you from having to try and pinpoint the same colors. You can do the same thing from before with the level select or editor colors that you can do. So if you right click here, it'll copy. If you go to another color, you can middle click and it'll paste it. Same thing that you could have done here. So you can right click and then middle click, right click, middle click, that kind of stuff. I think it's everything for the regular. Let's go to advanced. So we did outlines. Fade is pretty cool. If you want the text to fade in instead of just appearing and disappearing, you can have it, turn that off too. Okay, cool. So we're going to do a fade in, and you'll notice when I start dragging this down here, you get to see this little black bar that actually shows you where it's going to fade in, and you can also do where it's going to fade out. So if I do this now, it'll fade in slowly, and then it'll start fading out. So you can do cool stuff. We're having it fade in the entire time and then disappears, so it comes in slowly, slowly, and then disappears, or whatever effect you wanted to do. The angle is the angle of the text, so it actually is pivoting around that justification. So it's left, here center, it'll go around center. Very useful if you want to have it at a specific angle, whatever it is that you want. You can't rotate this, but again, if you have twist turned on, it will rotate with that twist. So you can have it be upside down if you so desire. I have something to say upside down. Interesting one here is animate, so you can have it animate by... Wait, what's up in my... Oh, sorry. If you have it animate by letters, you'll notice that now it's going to spell the letters out, which is pretty cool. If you want it to stay on screen, because as soon as it hit that Y, it disappeared, you can change the end %, which is only here when you have letters or words selected. So you can see now there's a white bar down here, and you can have it stop spelling halfway through right there. So if I do this, it'll spell out the whole thing and stop right there, and you'll be able to see the rest there. And you can turn on the fade and have the fade happen right there. So you can see the whites right there. That's where it stops spelling and it starts fading out. A lot of cool stuff there. The last one is words, so it actually does that same thing. So it'll stop spelling all the words independently. So something I have to say. There you go. If you want to have it time out to the music, and you have it left justified or right, you can actually put a bunch of extra spaces for letters. I think it's only for letters. But you can do a bunch of different spaces, so it'll take much longer to spell out I have to say. So it'll say something I have to say, in case you're trying to sync it up exactly to words in lyrics or something like that. So you'll see this a lot in some of the levels that have lyrics already in the game. With this update, I added lyrics to crowds and modular origami, and I do this trick a lot. So lots of spaces here. The text is also on the duration bar itself, so at a glance you can see very quickly not only what the text is by the duration bar, but also the color of the icon is the color of the text. So if this is red, you'll see it's red text now. Let's see. Okay, I think that's it for text. Play around with that, have fun. The last one we want to show is... What my duration? Oh, it went to 0. Last one is going to be filters. So filters are this last icon here, and those are very similar. If you've played my last game Overpass, you'll be familiar with these. Filters are a way to change the entire lens, kind of like Instagram filters. A view of the entire level changes how the camera looks at it. So if you have this, you can see that's accent filter, which looks kind of cool with that. It's very muddy looking. And there's a whole lot. There's way more than Overpass. There's some that came back. Accent, Air, Bleak. These are all from Overpass. But you can kind of go through these and see how interestingly they change everything. A cool one here is these ISO ones. These isolate all but one color. So ISO blue will actually... I don't have a blue arrow. Let's do it real quick. let's have a blue arrow. Nice blue arrow, there you go. So it'll actually have one color isolated and the rest becomes grayscale, which is pretty cool. What you can do with events, with filters, is also change the intensity. So the amount that it affects the screen can go from 100% to 0%. I don't know why you would do 0. And then the duration of how long it lasts. The same thing with text is here, so you can have fades, so it fades in. And you can have it fade in. Looking at these black bars, you'll see exactly where it happens. So the effect kind of animates slowly, comes in. Oh, I'm at half speed, and then it goes away. So that's all useful, cool stuff. A little caveat to keep in mind, if you have multiple filters stacked, only one filter can work at a time. You can't like combine filters together. So it'll always pick one, but we'll do exposed here. See what that looks like. So it'll always do the most recently created one, and then we'll go back. So you'll see what I mean here. So I'll just make these shorter. So you'll see it'll go from blue to exposed, back to blue, and then turn off. So it always does a new one. So if I do a new one, it'll overwrite it. And then if that one goes away, it goes to the last one that was still existing. So you can do some interesting strobing effects. Be gentle with people's eyes. But that's kind of the cool stuff you can do there. With filters, finally, you can do lots of fun stuff like, I don't know, inverting the colors. Finally, you can have black shadows. You can go grayscale just completely. You can do grayscale and invert. So a lot of cool stuff you can do. Keep in mind if you fade between these things, like that, you'll see that it goes very medium, like no contrast in the middle. So that's just a caveat of going from color to grayscale. Let's save that. We have text. Oh, actually, let's do two kinds. Let's do lyrics and commentary. So I'm going to add a commentary just to show you what happens at the level select screen. Commentary to go. So if you save the level, it'll now mark it as having both lyrics and commentary up here. We also have level notes. I mentioned that before, and we also have a website, artist website right there. So let's save all this, and we'll exit and go back to user levels, and it'll have it selected. It should be selected already. Cool. So you'll notice that now we have lots of things going on. We have our icons down here that tell you all the challenges that are selected. This is literally every possible challenge. You can have 5 there. But even the levels you're familiar with from the main, they all have challenges, like the modular origami challenge has a trail. Oh, I haven't unlocked that. Please ignore that. Crowds has, you know, outside challenges, and etc., etc. You get the idea. That's mirror with vertical only. But if we go back to here, you'll notice that now we have these new buttons, and they allow you to, first off, go to the artist website. So there you go, there's Soundodger.com. If you click this, it'll open up a new browser window. Here's where notes are, so if you click that, you can read notes, and these pretzels are making me thirsty, and that is very cool. Lyrics and commentary, by default, lyrics are on, commentary is off by default, so also keep that in mind. If you don't want lyrics, just click it. Bam, no lyrics. And that applies to any level with lyrics. This is saved globally, so if you close the game and open it back up, this will still be saved, so you don't accidentally see lyrics and you didn't want to. The lyrics are on, commentary is on, and whichever you choose, it'll display in the game. If you have both off, you won't see any of them. This thing down here is actually your average score for everything on screen. It is shown by default. You have to click it to make it hide, but you're going to see this. So I have an S+ in quotes, which means I have levels in progress, but an S+ for now. If you don't want to see this, you don't want to know, just click it. It'll be gone. That's also saved between sessions. You'll notice up here there's a lock symbol. That's because this level requires you to have the slow power-up, because I have it selected. If I change it, it'll go away. So if you click this and try and change it, guess what? You get that warning that says power is locked by the selected level down here, just to let you know. If I go here, this one actually has shield as a lock one, but again, you can go to any other level and it'll be available again. If you select this and have, let's see, like zip selected, and you go to here and then go here, it locks it and it doesn't forget that you also had zip. So if you go back to another level, zip is available again. That should be just about everything. I mean, you can see we have a levels section kind of labeled here, user levels. It'll say main levels otherwise. Very useful stuff. I feel like I had one more thing to say. Oh, we have shimmers now. So if you get an S+ on any level, there's a shimmer on the ticket there, and you can see this entire level has been S+, so the entire ticket gets an S+ on it. So, oh, and you can see we have an inside challenge there for that. Yeah, very useful. If you are to play a level, all of these icons will be on the screen as well. In the top left corner, don't mind all the things happening, but you can see in the top left corner, these are all here. So we have slow, mirror, left and right horizontal, and then you can wrap as well as tiny player, which means it's smaller than 1.0. If it's larger than 1.0, it just says bigger with the arrows coming out. So that is all useful. That's always there when you pause, just like the mod icons are always there. They would be there on the top row if that were the case. And if you escape, they go away, of course. They'll also be there at the end of the level on the results screen as well. This is a very strange looking level. Anyway, that's about it. That should be everything, and there's plenty more in the patch notes that have been posted to Steam. Go ahead and check those out. Again, thank you everyone for submitting all of the feedback. At the time of recording, this is only in the beta branch, and then maybe you're watching this much later and this is also available publicly for everybody. But anyway, enjoy, happy dodging, and I will see you next time.